Hi guys, welcome to Escape We Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're going to be reviewing the Hruodland model G004 dress chronograph. So I received this watch for free from the Hruodland official store on AliExpress. I don't have to send the watch back, but you guys know the deal by now. That's not going to sway my review one way or the other. And as always, if by the end of this review you want to pick one of these up yourself, I'll be leaving an affiliate link down below. You guys don't pay any extra, but this channel will benefit slightly from the small commission earned. I really appreciate it, guys. And yeah, I think you're getting a really nice watch if you pick this one up. So the current retail price for this watch is $140 US, and that's before any taxes or coupons or sales or anything like that. I think Hruodland does participate in the sales. Currently, they are not participating in the one that's going on right this second, but I believe there's another sale at the end of March, so keep an eye out for that. I think they do participate in it though. The watch is currently available in 3 different colorways. You have your white silver here, and then you have a black and a blue. Keep in mind the black and the blue that you see on screen now, those are only shipped with the silver hands, so they don't have blued hands, which would be almost impossible to read. So just something to note when you're purchasing. And also, if you don't like the branding on this thing, the Hruodland or the chronograph there, you can get this in a sterile dial as well. So yeah, it seems to have plenty of options, which is nice to see. The case is made of 316L stainless steel. It has a sapphire crystal, a push-pull crown, a screwed-in case back, not a screwed-down case back, so a screwed-in case back, 50 meters of claimed water resistance. It's powered by the Seiko VK61 Mecha Quartz movement, and it's supplied on a pretty nice leather strap, which we will talk about in a little bit. So after seeing this watch in the promo images, I kind of fell in love with it, and I wanted to get it on camera for you all, so really happy. A big thank you goes out to the Hruodland official store. I had to do a little coaxing, but I did get this one in for you guys, so really happy to be able to show this off on camera for you. I think you're going to like it. It's a great watch. It's kind of a dressy chronograph, and I think it's excellent. I've got no problems with it, so I say we get into the full review. But before we do, in the spirit of dress watches, wearing my chamois quartz, yeah, really just a sweet watch for 50 bucks. All right, so let's get the dimensions out of the way. This is listed as a 40 millimeter watch, 40.4 on diameter, 11.4 millimeters thick, 20 millimeter lug width, lug tip to lug tip of 46.1, and on the supplied leather strap, weighs about 64 grams. So I think it's a pretty good size. I know some people would prefer this in a 38, and I think I might too, but it's pretty compact, lug to lug, nice thin lugs. I think it's got chamfers in all the right places, and I think it wears pretty good for being a 40 millimeter dress watch. It's all dial there, white dial too, so yeah, I do think it wears pretty good. You get decent turn down to the lugs there, so it hugs the wrist nicely. So I'm going to go outside right now and throw it on my wrist for you. And here we are on my 7.5 inch wrist, and as you can see, it wears great. I've got no issues with the size of this thing. I can pull off a 40 millimeter case. I know a lot of people don't like this size, but I think it's going to wear good on most people. You get good turn down to the lugs there as well. I just love the case on this thing. Lots of different surfaces to catch the light there. You got those chamfers on the corners of the case there. I think it just looks really good. The AR coating on the crystal, as you can see here, usually sitting under this big oak tree here, is a problem. But right now, it's not. The AR coating is really good on this watch too, so very happy with that. And I think it looks really good. And popping out into some direct sunlight here, you can see, I mean, even with the sun beating right down on it, it's great. You got no issues reading the watch. AR coating is excellent, and I think this thing just looks really good. Very happy with it. The strap is a good size there. You can see it on my 7.5 inch wrist right in the middle, so it's going to fit a lot of wrist sizes, I think. And yeah, and it's a good strap, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Sorry about the focusing, having trouble focusing in the sun for some reason, but I say we go throw it on some straps and we will get back to this review. And here we are on a Melanese mesh, and yeah, I think that actually looks really good. I didn't really think it was going to look bad, but that looks really good actually. Very happy with the way that looks. What do you guys think of that? And here we are on a gray suede strap. Sorry about that bird. That thing goes off all night long. It's super annoying. Mating season, but anyway, suede strap, gray. This is from Merkur, so I will leave the link down in the video description. I think that goes okay. Yeah, not too bad. And here we are on a Vario vintage leather strap. I'll be leaving the link down below for this one as well. And I don't think that actually looks that great. One of the few times I've thought that this strap doesn't really work with the watch. I don't know why. Maybe just a different shade of brown would be a little bit better, but it's not bad. Just not quite up to what I would wear. So yeah, let's go throw down a couple more. And here we are on a slightly darker brown suede strap. I'll be leaving the link for this one down below. That one does look a little bit better in my opinion. What do you guys think? Yeah, right. Now I've got a couple more straps for it. And here we are on a kind of vintage textured black strap. Got tan stitching. I think it would go a little bit better with white stitching, but I actually think that looks pretty good. What do you guys think? Alright, and lastly here we are on a dark blue Perlon strap. And I'll be leaving the links for these down below as well. And these things wear great, very comfortable, very lightweight, and I think they kind of make it a little more casual without being too casual. So yeah, I think it wears really good. This dark blue kind of brings out the blue on the hands there. Hard to see in the video, I think, but in person it makes them pop just a little bit more. So yeah, very happy with the way this thing looks though. All right, let's go back inside and let's get back to this review. All right, so let's talk about the case finishing on this thing. And the case finishing is done really nicely. As you can see here, it is a 100% polished case. Yeah, but it's pretty nicely done. You get real close here, you can see the polishing is nice and smooth. I've got no problems with it. You got pretty nice sloping lugs there. And then you've got this really nice chamfer on the corner of the lugs there. It kind of gives just a little bit extra sparkle to it. I think it looks great. Polishing in between the lugs here. You've got a step to the bezel as well. And so it all just kind of adds to the overall look of this watch. Yeah, I think it looks great. I'm really, really happy with it. I see no issues with the polishing either. It's very nicely polished. Flipping it over to the crown side here. Unsigned crown. That's kind of my only real complaint with it. I wish they would put a H or something there. Really cool rounded off pushers there for your chronograph. Again, fully polished. They just look really good. Very, very happy with the polishing on this thing. Unfortunately, you know, this fully polished case under these studio lights shows every little bit and speck of dust and fingerprint and smudge. And so I'm telling you guys, the case polishing on this thing is excellent. Very happy with it. Flipping it over to the case back here. Really simple, screwed in case back. Again, fully polished. And then you've kind of got this world map, which is kind of laser engraved in it. I think it looks pretty cool. I don't really get the significance of the world map, but it is what it is. I think it looks really good. I've got no problems with it. It's nice and smooth. Obviously, it's going to pick up some scratches and fingerprints here and there, but I do think it looks pretty good. You can see here the polishing on the back is not good, but it's the case back, so I give it a pass. I don't really care. Water resistant, 50 atmospheres, Hruodland. And that's pretty much it. Pretty nicely done. Everything here is nice and rounded off. So this watch is very comfortable on wrist. And yeah, I've got no problems with the case finishing or the case shape. I think they did a really good job on this watch. All right, let's talk about the crystal in this thing. So we'll test it for sapphire real quick. And it is positive for sapphire. And it's a really nice sapphire crystal. It is ever so slightly domed. I don't even know if you guys can see it, but it's very, very slightly domed, but super just crystal clear even at these steep angles. Really a nice crystal. It's got tons of clear anti-reflective coating, and it's great. I've got no issues with the crystal on this thing. You saw in my wrist shots underneath my big oak tree. That's one of the hardest places to capture a watch dial, and this thing is just ultra legible even under that. So very happy with the crystal on this thing. I've got zero complaints with it. Yeah, so let's talk about the dial and hands on this thing. And the dial is really nice. I was kind of expecting a pure white dial, but it is a very, very light shade of silver here. You can see kind of the grain in the silver. Very subtle, but it is there. Kind of gives a little bit more interest to the watch, in my opinion. I'm pretty happy that they chose this color. I'm usually not a fan of silver dials, but this one is light enough and subtle enough that, yeah, I think it looks really good. Very happy with it. So you have a printed minute track around the outside, and then you have your printed Roman numerals. You got your watchmaker's 4 over here, so That's typical. It's not done incorrectly. That's typical in watches, just to keep the symmetry. And I think everything looks really good. You get this vertical layout here, a larger subdial here at the 6 o'clock. That's for your running seconds hand. And then a smaller one up at the 12 o'clock, and that is for your chronograph minute counter, and that goes up to 60 minutes, as you can see there. Really nice, clean printing on the dial, though. Getting up real close here, you can see I'm very happy with the printing on this. It's got a little bit of depth to it, not too much depth, but just a little bit of depth to it, and I think it looks really good. You have your Hruodland over here at the 9 o'clock, chronograph at the 3 o'clock. You can get the sterile, so if you don't like that, you can get it off the dial. It's nice and clean look. You have custom down here at the 6 o'clock. Not really sure why. And even down here at the 6 o'clock subdial, you have a flyback text there in cursive. I think it looks really nice. Very happy with it. I like the balance of the branding on it, so I went with the branded dial. Yeah, pretty happy with this. The handset on it are kind of the star of the show. So I'm going to start with the chronograph hands here. They're boring. I mean, not boring, but nothing super fancy. Just a simple silver hand here for your chronograph minute counter. And then the chronograph seconds hand here. It's got a really nice counterbalance on it, which I do like, but it's just silver. I kind of wish they would have gone with the blued hands on all of them, but I understand why they didn't. It kind of ties the two chronograph counters together, keeping them silver like that. So I understand why they did it. I just like the blued hands, and I think the blued hands are really, really nicely done on this. So you have a blued seconds hand here down at the 6 o'clock position. Really nice size on it, and you can see here they're almost hitting every single tick, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit off on some of them, but most of them are like bang on. So pretty happy with that on this medal. The alignment on that chronograph second hand is dead on as well. The main hour and minute hands, they are gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Heated blue hands, they are true heated blue hands. I got this under macro, and I could actually see some imperfections. So the fact that they're using actual heated blue hands is a bonus to me. Very happy with that. It's got the real, I mean, just beautiful hands. Just look at those. I'm just going to let you look at them. Yeah, very, very happy with the handset on this thing. They look incredible. Very dark blue, but they do catch the light and just pop just right. Gets that hint of blue, and I think they look fantastic. And so let's talk about the movement. So the movement is the Seiko VK61 Mecha Quartz. So it's a quartz movement. It's got a 2 or 3 year battery life. I can't remember what it is. It's plus or minus 20 seconds per month. These things have been very accurate and very reliable for me. I have zero complaints with them. They're great movements. This one is operated by these crowns here. The main time setting crown at 3 o'clock is just a push-pull crown. Pull it out to the first position here. There is a ghost date position on this, but they went through the trouble and removed all the date functions of this movement, so you don't hear anything clicking around back there. So that's nice to see. Pull it out to the second position here. It does hack the movement, and this is where you set your time. Everything feels just like you would expect on a VK movement. If you have one, this one isn't going to be a surprise. It's very nice. Very happy with them. They're quiet. They're reliable. The chronograph function here, pressing the top button here, nice positive snap to it. You got 5 ticks of the second hand there, so a pretty decent sweep there, and it does go up to 60 minutes, so that's nice to see as well. And I believe after 60 minutes it stops at the it just stops at 0 again, so it won't count more than 60, I think. But yeah, very happy with these movements. I have no problems with them. Nice feedback through these pushers as well. Nice solid click, and it just snaps right back to the 12 o'clock position. Very happy with this. I've got no complaints with this movement. All right, so let's talk about the strap on this thing. So the strap is actually pretty nice. You're not going to want to throw it in the trash. It's actually a really nice strap. It smells good. It feels good. It was comfortable right out of the box. It's 20 millimeters. It tapers down to 18 millimeters. You got some really nice contrast stitching here. It's got a little bit of gloss to it, but not too much gloss to make it look cheap, in my opinion. I think they picked a good strap for it. This is a dark, dark, dark blue. It looks really good. It's padded, so it's got some give to it. It's got some thickness to it. The bottom side actually feels pretty cheap. I don't really know what to say. It doesn't feel bad. It just doesn't feel really like a quality strap. It definitely doesn't match the top, I'll say that. But I really don't have any problems with it. It's comfortable, and yeah, it's fine. It does have quick release spring bars, which is nice. You have one floating keeper here, one stationary keeper, nice clean stitching all the way. I've got no problems with that. Polished buckle here, as you can see, nice and solid buckle. It's not flopping around or anything like that, but it's, you know, it's nothing special. But it is pretty comfortable. Sometimes you can get these bottom edges here being a little sharp. This one's not a problem at all. I kind of landed right in the middle for my 7.5 inch wrist. So I think it's going to fit some pretty decent wrist spans, you know, 6.5, maybe 6.25 up to probably 8.25. So yeah, I think you guys are going to be pretty happy with the strap. You're not going to want to toss it in the bin right away. But they could have done something a little bit better on the bottom here. I'm not really sure what's going on, but either way, it's not a big deal. As long as it's comfortable, I've got no problems with it. So there you go, guys. That is the Hruodland model G004. A weird brand name. I know you guys don't like it, but they do offer this in a sterile dial, so that's nice to see. It's a very quality watch for $140. There's not much in this space, in this kind of dressy chronograph space. Yeah, kind of the escapement time dress chronograph that I reviewed. I'll be leaving the link up there for it. It's kind of the same style of watch as this, you know, a dressy chronograph, sapphire crystal, same movement. And yeah, I think this thing is nicer than that watch. Not by much, but it's definitely nicer than that watch. And it's the same price, pretty much the same price. So yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with either one. I think this thing is absolutely stunning though. I've been really enjoying it. So I think if you guys like the look of this and you can get past the brand name on it, I've got no reservations in recommending this watch to anybody. It's excellent, absolutely excellent, stunning. Those hands are just phenomenal. They kind of make the watch. But yeah, the case itself, even very nicely done. So really happy with this. Thanks to the Hruodland store. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.